Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as always, in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can tell, we have drained a lot of this ocean here, although much of it yet remains, not to mention like all the ocean that's like out there on the other sides of these walls. However, on the whole, we have punched a giant hole in this wall, and this whole area here is going to be way more accessible. We're going to be able to build scaffolding, we're going to be able to have stuff going up, stuff going down, stuff going all around. Now, exactly what that stuff is, and how far I've thought it through, maybe a little bit. Like, I mean, I didn't even figure out what I was going to do with these signs. I think I'm going to have to move them. That seems like work, and so that's the sort of thing that we're going to offload to later in the episode. In the meantime, I can go ahead and just start opening up a ton of the terrain above here, getting this roof feeling more open, because like, this roof in here always felt kind of weird to me. And I think, let's hop up on stage here. I think if I just start digging it all out, it should look pretty cool. You know, we can just basically sweep through here and remove all of the blocks. You know, why do we need blocks in Minecraft? You know, for decoration? Not today. Not today. We're just going to sweep through with our shovel, and then we'll come back through with our pickaxe. And before you know it, this will all be unlit and monsters will be attacking us. And, you know, that's obviously not the ideal approach to any situation in Minecraft. But when we don't exactly know what we're doing anyway, you know, we can't necessarily worry about everything being perfect, you know? You know, there's a webcomics podcast I used to listen to back when I was hoping, before YouTube existed, I wanted to make funny things on the internet, and the only way to do that was webcomics. And there was a saying that perfect is the opposite of done. And that's true. Now, you can have something actually come out pretty close to perfect once you get good at it. But when you're just kind of like in the learning phases and you're making stuff up as you go, it's more important to just keep making stuff up rather than to try to keep making things perfect. So since we never really figured out exactly what we wanted to do with all this, I figure we'll just kind of keep doing it, you know? We're just going to sweep through here and clean some of this up. It's actually, speaking of things, you know, trying to get things drawn, I actually stopped by the art store in Nashville today, Plaza, which I used to go to back when I was a student all the time because all of our art classes would require us to. And I think that's good that they were like, hey, you should go to a real art store, not just the school bookstore to buy this stuff, because you get to see all these cool tools and stuff, and you want to learn to use them, and it's an inspiring experience. But anyway, so I had so much fun doing that episode back during the Hermitcraft War, where Zombie Cleo and I were brainstorming ways to attack the enemy base, and I had hand-drawn a bunch of pictures of, like, the different things that we could build to attack the enemy, the G-Team, no, not the G-Team, the Team Star base with. And I thought to myself, you know, it'd be really fun to go and get myself some real art supplies that I could, like, take on walks on my lunch break. Because, like, we've got plenty of stuff at home to do art with, because I have a 6-year-old, and 6-year-olds love art supplies. However, I can't just, like, take those to work with me and then carry them around on my lunch break. So I found a really nice pack of color pencils with, like, 12 color pencils in it, in, like, this nice tin that is easy to carry walking around. And got a nice little sketch pad, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more kind of just free-form drawing in on my lunch breaks now that the weather's getting nice, and finding ways to incorporate those into the videos. I don't know what that's going to look like yet entirely, but you know what? It's not going to be perfect, because I haven't really practiced drawing very much in the last few years. I've been so busy with this YouTube thing. But you know, it's kind of a shame when you have a talent that you worked at and then you kind of let it go, you know? So I'm just trying to kind of, you know, especially because my daughter is so interested in art, and she always wants to do cool stuff with art. So, like, I think that, like, the more I practice just making stuff on my own, you know, too, like, it'll be something fun for us to talk about. Like, I can show her what I drew, and then, we started looking at a lot at when we look at, like, museum pieces together. She's gotten very good at breaking down, like, the techniques and stuff that the artists might have used with me. And, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm excited to just have a hobby, like, drawing that I can come back to. Because, like, when I first got out of school, like, I had a lot of student loans and stuff, and so it was hard for me to justify spending a lot of time on my hobbies that didn't make money when something like this Minecraft thing did make a small amount. Like, I'm not making a ton of money off YouTube, guys. Like, I'm not, like, I mean, there are obviously some folks who are able to live off of what they make here, but, you know, because I've had a day job and a family that I had to focus on, I haven't had that same opportunity, and so I'm trying now that I've got my student loans paid off, to kind of come back to some of the things that I used to want to do all the time, and to try to make time for enjoying them, you know? Even if there's not, like, a clear thing, like, oh, I'm going to draw this picture and then I'll definitely put it in a YouTube video. It's like, I might just draw a picture. I might post it to Twitter if I think, like, people would like to see it, but, like, I just want to draw, you know? Just want to try and make time for me a little bit, and I think that that's, like, so easy when you're chasing, like, I'm not the sort of person who's like, I have to work all the time because I want a lot of money. You know, I'm not, if I have enough money to be comfortable, I have enough money to be comfortable. But if I feel like I owe somebody something, like with my student loans or with my car payments that I paid off, if I feel like I owe somebody something, then I just want to pay them back as quick as I can. Because I feel like I don't want to be indebted to people like that. But the problem is, if you say, I want to be out of debt as quick as possible so I can be totally free, you aren't totally free. You're focusing on paying off your debt rather than on, like, enjoying the life that you want to have, you know? And so that's just something where, dang it, that's going to be a problem. I didn't realize that this, well, let's not throw the sponges on the ground, because we're definitely going to need those. Okay, I'm going to have to put this chest, if I put that there, because there's a chest still open. Okay, good. And so we're going to jump up onto here, and piece by piece, we'll get this going. There we go. Okay. That is pretty feasible now. We'll have to move that chest eventually, but in the short term, we've at least got something figured out. Okay, so now we're going to just go ahead and grab some of these blocks. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, just talking about how it can be helpful to just occasionally step back and say, like, why am I doing the things I'm doing? Okay, I'm doing them because I want to get out of debt. Why do I want to get out of debt? Well, because I want to have the freedom to do the things I enjoy. It's like, well, I can make the time to do some of the things I enjoy even while I'm in debt. You know, I can go draw outside. You know, I'm not saying, like, oh, go be financially irresponsible, but, like, you know, don't just let I spent 10 years paying off those student loans, and I'm just now kind of coming to terms with the fact that, like, oh, if my clothes are worn out, I should go buy new ones right away instead of, like, waiting until people tell me my clothes are worn out. Because they're going to be polite about that for, like, a month at least. And that's, like, I should just go do that, you know? So, anyway, I just wanted to say, go make stuff, guys. Like, I mean, that's what I do all the time here. I try to adventure and make stuff, and, you know, I haven't necessarily been the best at doing that in my day-to-day life, because it's funny that in some ways the more successful you are at one thing, like, oh, this YouTube thing is going really well for me, so at least in terms of my personal happiness and things like that. Like I said, this is not like a self-sufficient job, but you know, when things are like that are generally going well, it's easy to let other things slide because you don't want to lose your momentum on the one really good thing. But you gotta diversify your sources of happiness in life, because, you know, no one thing lasts, you know, or no one thing is guaranteed to last forever, you know? And anything could happen at any time, you know? You could be in for example, I don't like riding bicycles very much. Like, I get scared every time I ride a bicycle, not because I find bicycle riding scary, but because I know some cartoonists who broke their wrists riding bicycles, and then they couldn't work for months. And, like, the idea of not being able to work because I use computers in, like, everything I do is just like, oh no, I can't afford that. You know, I probably better not ride a bicycle anywhere dangerous, which means, like, on a street. I'll just walk, you know? And it's like, I don't know. You know, sorry, I'm kind of getting off track here. not that there was really a track to this episode other than that, like, we're just gonna mine a bunch of blocks out and hang out and have fun. But, yeah, I'm trying to think a lot more lately, intentionally, about how to, you know, just kind of live a good life, not just a life where I do good, you know? And because I try to help as many people as I can, you know, support my family and stuff, and, you know, but at the same time, it's so easy to lose track of how much more you could be doing for yourself. If you don't think of yourself as a workaholic, like, there's a lot of people who genuinely work all the time because they feel compelled to, because they feel like that's part of so much of their identity. Whereas for me, it was always one of those things where it's like, I want to just goof off all the time and hang out with my friends and stuff, but I guess I have to work like 50 hours this week at my day job, plus do some freelance work, plus do this YouTube thing, because otherwise I'll never get out of debt, or otherwise I can't support my family. And so it's easy to kind of like lose track of, like, if you don't think of yourself as the sort of person who focuses too much on work, it's easy to accidentally focus too much on work. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling a little bit, but there's always opportunities to reevaluate what we could do better, and we should try to seize those where we can. So, oh, hey, by the way, some of you guys have been asking in the YouTube comments what this room is. This room is intended to be a testing area for the new note blocks when they come out. Right now, we just have the current note blocks, and even so, like, you know, there's not that many of them, but I do have it set up so that I can set up like temporary beats. That's not a good beat. Okay, so we're gonna start our beat here. This is like some sort of creepy carnival. I don't know. It's pretty horrible. I guess I probably should have figured the notes out in advance. This is like some terrifying mime show from France in the catacombs. Didn't you know? When you go below, you hear my flow, though. This is just too weird. My flow has disappeared. Yeah, this is not a good beat, guys. We're gonna turn this off before I like start genuinely feeling disturbed by it. But if we had actually planned this out, this could have been a good song in theory, and that would have been nice. So, you know, we'll come back to this room. We'll come back to this room later. But core concept, we have a space established there for that. We need to actually set up some more, or do some more work with our glass. Because ideally, I want to glass in kind of this wall of the sick burn ward. And we're going to have to move all these out. We're going to, like, we've got a lot of little pieces that we have to really think through here. And all I knew kind of going in was, I just need more space. We have more space now. And so, you know, and this is kind of the same thing with what I was talking about, like making time for your hobbies or the things you enjoyed when you were younger. You know, if you just kind of fight for a little space, say, okay, I sit on the bus every day for 20 minutes. Could I draw something in those 20 minutes? Do I have to sit there reading the news being miserable? You know, I can sit somewhere else and read the news and be miserable at a different time of the day. What if on the bus, 20 minutes on my little pad is my drawing time, you know? What can I do? What's one thing I can do right now that I could do every day that I could make my life better, even with a very small amount of time and a very small amount of money up front, you know? Like, it's not like I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy a big drafting table and I'm going to go invest in all these fancy stuff. It's like, no, I'm going to get some color pencils that fit in a tin I can carry in my pocket. I'm going to get a little sketchbook. And I'm I'm going to go enjoy the nice spring weather in Nashville. I'm going to go try and find things to draw around town on my lunch break. And that's just one way that I'm trying to make my life better right now. And I hope you guys can look for little things little opportunities to make your lives better too. So, anyway, I should probably knock out some more of this stone and get some more glass. I don't want to do a bunch of inventory management on camera though, so time skip. We are back here. We have done a ton of work to clear this ceiling out, to really expand this space. Did a little bit of work to extend this roof here as well. I think that needs a wall at some point. I don't know. You know what, this, I saved a screenshot of it. We're just going to knock it all down. We will reallocate those signs in a meaningful way somewhere along this wall. And I think what we're also going to do is some way establish some sort of platform out here. This just begs for like a multi-layer platform thing. Also, it begs to have the rest of the ocean kind of sponged out. But like, you know, one day at a time, one little step at a time. So you guys, here's your homework for today. No, it's not really homework. You guys can do whatever you want. But that's actually your homework. Do whatever you want. Not really. Think of one thing that you could do that like maybe you used to do it all the time, like drawing or sketching or playing guitar or something like that, that you just kind of let go. And try to think like, how could I make 15 minutes a day for it, 10 minutes a day? Just to try and, you know, just get back into it and see, you know, it's funny because like when you read a book when you're younger, and then you come back to it a few years later, or a movie or TV show, you see it from a different perspective. And so sometimes when we put down hobbies or tools or things like that, and we pick them back up a few years later, we don't appreciate that we might see them differently or appreciate them differently. So hopefully you guys can find some little ways here and there to make your lives a little bit happier, a little bit more productive. And just, you know, I'm not saying don't get your work done too, but maybe try to do both, because otherwise you might spend 10 years and realize you haven't picked up a pencil in 5 of them, you know? It's like, life goes fast, and, you know, might as well do something with it while we can. You may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free, and that's thanks to $50 a month Patreon sponsor EagleFam. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a poem of my own devising. There's emoji for I and emoji for us, but no emoji for condolences. We need to offer those less iconically, reaching out, not just facing away. We can't just skim people's past painful chapters. We need to be on the same page. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.